I know when I walk through the front door of my house an hour later that I'm in more trouble than I've ever been in my life. It's not like I don't expect it. I mean, I did walk out of school in the middle of the day and disappear for hours without telling anyone where I was. But if I'm woman enough to do something so bold, then I need to be woman enough to deal with the consequences. Even still, I wish there was a way I could sneak in and get up to my room before anyone notices. Of course, that's not going to happen because Mama and Eris are standing in the kitchen when I come through the door, and both of them are heated. Mama's eyes narrow when she sees me, and Eris has the same tight jaw and jumping vein in his temple as Daddy has when he's angry. The worst thing I can do right now is speak, so I just keep my mouth shut and wait for one of them to get it started. This can go a couple of different ways, Eris says after a few moments. His voice is even and steady when he says it, and I immediately tense up. Meanwhile, Mama is standing a few feet away from him puffing on a cigarette. Mama hasn't had a cigarette in years, mind you, but there she is with it between her fingers. And it doesn't look like it's the first one of the night either. The best thing you can do for yourself right now is just be real, Eris says. Simple as that. Just be real. He folds his arms across his chest and glares at me as if he's daring me to be anything but completely honest with him. I felt like I was going to lose it, I say quietly. I felt like I was going to flip out right there in class. I had to get out of there. I just had to go. Eris shakes his head. So you leave school grounds in the middle of the day? Just get up and walk out without talking to anyone to let them know you're in crisis? It was stupid, I know, and I'm sorry, I say. I wasn't thinking straight. All I could think about was getting out of there. To go where, Kendra, he asked. I wasn't heading any place in particular when I walked out, I say, which is true, because I didn't get that text from Uncle CJ until after I walked out. I just had to get out, I say. Mama closes her eyes and turns away from me. She's taking deep, long drags on her cigarette now, and I can tell she's trying real hard to keep herself from exploding all over me. And where did you end up? Eris asks. I clear my throat, wishing I could think of something to say to stall the conversation, because it's about to get ugly. What is the best I can do? Where did you end up? Mama yells, pronouncing each word as if she's talking to someone who doesn't speak English. You've been missing for hours, Kendra. It's almost 11 o'clock at night. And if you say you were with Nita or Miaisha, it is on because I've already spoken with them both and you weren't with either one of them. So where have you been? I don't say anything. I can't say anything. I cannot tell them I was with Uncle CJ because to admit that would bring on all other kinds of questions I don't want to answer right now. Girl, if you don't start talking, Mama warns. I clear my throat again. I can't say. I don't hear much of the rest of the conversation. There's a lot of yelling, a little bit of crying, and at some point Mama says she already has enough to deal with right now without having to put up with yet another fast-tailed daughter. Now this is the first time I've heard anyone ever say anything like that about my sister Miaisha. For a quick moment I wonder if Mama calling her fast-tailed had anything to do with why she left all those years ago. Maybe they even had an argument just like this one. As for me, I don't like being called fast-tailed, especially when I've tried so hard to be what my parents want me to be. It hurts. It hurts deep. If you have two fast-tailed daughters, I say, before I can stop myself, then maybe you ain't doing something right, Mama. She slaps me. Hard. Eris crosses the room and pulls her off me. I honestly don't know what comes over me, because I stand there and actually dare her to hit me again. Philip comes running into the kitchen at this point, and it takes both him and Eris to drag her out of there. She's screaming hysterically, and the only words I hear are that if I'm so grown that I can stay out all night, then I don't need to be living under her roof. Mama, where's she going to go? I hear Eris say, trying to reason with her even as they're struggling to keep her from coming back at me. She can go right back to where she just came from, Mama yells, loud enough so that I can hear her from the staircase. Let her go right back there if she's so grown. So I bounce. I'm on the city bus for about an hour when Uncle CJ calls me to say goodnight. He asks how things went when I got home, and I half lie and tell him that Mama's mad, but everything's cool. I don't want him to know what really went down because I know he'll tell me to come and stay at his place for the night. I can't do that. I don't know where to go, so I decide that I'll just ride the bus for as long as I can and then figure out what to do from there.